Hello everyone, this is Eve, and I'm coming to you with Crybaby, a Ben-bound ex-reader. We're going to be starting off with jealousy. After about half an hour, I decided to start getting ready for class. I went upstairs and knocked on my bedroom door. Ben, we have class today, so I'm going to come in. You better not have anything out, I said. You can come in, I haven't had it out for 20 minutes, he replied. I scrunched my nose up in disgust and opened the door. Ben was on my bed on his phone, and he looked up at me when I walked in. I'm going to get dressed, so leave, I commanded. No thanks, he said, looking back down at his phone. You were so annoying, I rolled my eyes. Yet you still made out with me, he pointed out. Shut up, I mumbled. I went into my closet and changed into some sweatpants, and along with one of Toby's hoodies that he left here a while ago. I walked out and saw Ben was now standing right next to the closet door. What are you doing? I asked. I was peeping on you through the slots in your closet door, he said casually. You are a pig, I rolled my eyes, walking over to my dresser to get a pair of socks. Is that Toby's hoodie? Ben asked. Yeah, why? I questioned. Why are you wearing it? He asked. Because he said I could. Do you want one of my hoodies instead? He questioned. Not really, I said. Well, I'm gonna give you one, so put it on, then hurry up. It's already 8:50, he said, walking over to his dresser and pulling a dark green hoodie out of it. And yes, Ben has his own dresser in my room, and my mom insisted that he needed a place to put all his things. It's mostly just filled with different Game Boys and game cartridges. He has a couple of drawers for his clothes, though. He threw the hoodie at my face and walked out of the room, and I stared at the door for a few seconds before taking off Toby's hoodie and putting Ben's on. It smelled like cheap cologne and something else. Cigarettes? Ben doesn't smoke. I walked downstairs and saw he was waiting on me by the door. I slipped on my Crocs and felt Ben's hand grab mine. We're gonna be late, I said. That's fine, right? Ben asked. Yeah, the professor doesn't really care. He always says I'm too gay and not caffeinated enough to care. Sounds like something you would say, Ben said. Yep, I nodded. Ben swung her arms as we walked down the street. Why, Anne, when did you get a boyfriend? A girl asked, coming up to us. I recognized her as Samantha, a quiet girl that went to my high school. We had a couple of classes together and would be partners for projects if we didn't have anyone else. Oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, and he's not my boyfriend, I said. Yeah, it's been a couple of years, and if he's not your boyfriend, then who is he? She asked. I'm Ben, her fiancé, Ben said, looking down at her. Oh, she blushed. Wait, blushed? Does she like him already? I'm Samantha, nice to meet you, she stuttered shyly. We've got to go, nice seeing you, I said, annoyed. I yanked Ben along with me, passing by her. Oh, bye, she waved after us. I quickly turned the corner and continued to march to my university. Wyan, what's wrong? Ben asked, stopping abruptly. She was clearly flirting with you, I said loudly. Are you jealous? He asked, smiling. No, I yelled. Oh my god, you so are. I never thought I'd see the day, Ben said, looking up at the sky and pretending to wipe a tear away. Shut up, I'm not jealous, I huffed, crossing my arms. It's alright, I think it's cute, and it just goes to show that you actually like me, he said, grabbing my hand once again. Let's go to school, shall we? He asked, gesturing his hand in front of us. Yeah, whatever, I said quietly, squeezing his hand a bit. He happily smiled and continued walking, swinging our arms. Once we finally arrived at the lecture hall, we quickly ran into the classroom and apologized for being late. I'm too gay and not caffeinated enough to care. Take your seats. We're just doing whatever today, the professor said, kicking his feet up on his desk. Yes, sir, I nodded, and led Ben over to our seats in the corner. Ben sat down next to me, and I sat my laptop in between us on the desk. Ben typed in YouTube on the search bar and clicked enter. What do you want to watch? He asked. I don't know, you choose, I said. Okay, how about Gordon Ramsay videos? Those are always good, he recommended. Yes, absolutely, I nodded, taking my earbuds out of my bag. I quickly plugged them into the computer and handed Ben one of them. I scooted my chair closer to him, and he put his hand on my knee under the desk, and I blushed a bit, trying to focus on the video. We watched a shit ton of videos, and eventually it was time to leave. I packed up my things and grabbed Ben's hand, and walking with him all the way home. Today was pretty uneventful, besides when Samantha decided to flirt with Ben. Who does she think she is? Chapter Roses. Once Ben and I got home, we sat down on the couch and just stared at the black TV screen. So that Samantha girl was your friend? Ben asked. Was, in high school. We had a few classes together, I said, emphasizing the was. Oh, what happened? He questioned. We both grew up and moved on. I heard she moved across the country to attend some fancy university, and she must be back to visit her family, I said. Oh, he mumbled. You don't seem to like her much, he commented. Not anymore, I leaned back. Why not? No particular reason. I guess I feel like she left me behind. She never called, never texted, and now she shows back up and tries to act all buddy-buddy, I said, annoyed. Well, I think it's because you were jealous. I don't even think you really remember her all that much. You don't care about her leaving you behind. You care that she flirted with me, Ben said matter-of-factly. What? I do not, I said loudly. Why, Ann, I already know you're madly in love with me. Just admit you were jealous, he teased. I'm not jealous, and besides, even if I was, it's not like you'll ever see her again, so what's there to be jealous of, I said. Yeah, and you know you're the only one for me, he winked, leaning in. I rolled my eyes and smiled, playfully shoving his face away from mine. Why, Ann, we heard someone call my name in a sing-song voice and heard them walking down the stairs. I instantly recognized it and jumped up, running to the bottom of the staircase. Jeff, I yelled happily. He finally made it to the bottom. I grabbed him, hugging him. Where have you been? I missed you, I said, breaking the hug. Ben came up beside me and wrapped his arms around my waist from behind, and I casually pushed him off of me and patiently awaited Jeff's answer. Well, I was getting Cassie's body, and Slender says we're ready to do the ceremony. I came to pick you up, he said. My eyes widened and I started to tear up. I'm getting her back, I whispered. Jeff nodded and I let out a sob. Why are you crying? You should be happy, Ben said, sounding panicked as he tried to calm me down. They're happy tears, I said, crying but smiling at the same time. Oh, good, I was worried, Ben mumbled, giving me an awkward hug. I composed myself and thanked Ben, then followed Jeff upstairs. Ben trailed behind me, trying to grab onto my hand, and after 4 attempts, I finally gave in and let him hold it. Jeff gestured to the computer, and then his eyes wandered down to Ben and I's hands. Are you two dating now? He asked. Not officially, Ben said. No, I said sternly. Jeff just raised an eyebrow and crawled into my computer. You go ahead of me, Ryan, he said. Why, so you can stare at my ass as I do so? No thanks, I said, dropping his hand and crossing my arms. I mean, partly yes, but more so that I can make sure you go through safe. It's your first time using one of these gates, and your body isn't used to it, so a few things could go wrong, he said. I thought about it for a second before finally nodding. Fine, I mumbled, crawling on top of my desk. I put my hand through first just to test it. It was so weird being able to stick my hand through the screen. The inside was cold and felt like my hand was being pricked by pine needles. I glanced back at Ben, seeing him give me a reassuring look, and I took a deep breath before pushing myself all the way through. I tumbled out on the other side, being caught by someone just before I hit the ground. Looking up, I see Jeff staring down at me. Ben will be through in a minute, so make sure you're out of the way, Jeff said. I nodded and quickly moved away from the screen, and I looked around to see what was obviously Ben's room. The bed was messy and unmade, the covers being a forest green with black sheets. The floor had dirty clothes scattered around it with a black rug on the floor, and there was a large flat screen attached to the wall with a dresser underneath it. On top of the dresser was an Xbox One, a PS4, and various cords along with controllers. There was a bedside table next to the bed that had a lamp, a 3DS, and along with an empty glass. The screen we came out of was a computer monitor, an expensive one by the looks of it. He had a full setup, 3 different monitors, a gaming keyboard, a mouse, and a headset next to the keyboard. There were also speakers along with a ton of different cords, all labeled with pieces of red electrical tape wrapped around them, making tags. The chair he had matched the colors of his setup. It was a replica of PewDiePie's chair. The chair had been pushed away from the desk so that Jeff could catch me before I did any damage. But back to the present. I moved away from the desk just in time to see Ben effortlessly land on his feet. Hey, babe, he winked at me. Like my room, he asked, gesturing around me. I nodded and took another glance, now seeing the dirty posters he had hanging out, most of which were of women, but I could have sworn I saw a Magic Mike poster hidden behind one of the bikini models. I sighed and noticed the room smelled like roses. I gave confused look to myself at this realization. What? Ben asked. Nothing, it's just that your room smells like roses, I said. Huh, I guess it does, doesn't it? He looked around, nodding a bit. Well, should we introduce you to the family? That is the end of those 2 chapters. The chapter after that one is sacrifices. Some sacrifices will probably be made. Also, I apologize, guys. I am so tired. I went back to work, so woohoo. My energy levels go eee. But I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.